sub 2 group as well, because I can't broadcast directly in there.
Okay.
So we are live now.
Okay.
I'm just going to find the link as it will publish in this group. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
So why can't I share this? Maybe I will have to copy link. There we go. So I'll drop this into sub 2.
Okay. And Rafa, you were in Phoenix, right? We were just there for the mastermind.
Yes.
Awesome. Very cool. How have you been?
Good. What about you guys?
Yeah, we were doing well. We're fighting the cold weather here. I think we were 48 degrees today. And I think you guys were were you in the 80s or 90s?
We're I don't even know, but it's getting a little warm.
Yeah.
But we'll take it.
Nice. Well, it was fun to be there. Enjoy the warm weather.
Where are you from again?
We're in Seattle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, how the mastermind was pretty amazing, huh?
It was. It was really amazing. Yeah.
Fabulous. Well, I'm sharing it in there. I'm going to share it in the mastermind group as well.
Okay.
Are you in the mastermind group?
Mm-hmm.
Let me check.
I'm not in the mastermind group yet.
I think I invited you, but if not, I'll invite you right now. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, it's the first time. I've never done this StreamYard before. I've heard of it, but
Yeah, I know. If I didn't know we were going to stream live, I would have dressed a little nicer.
Oh, the whole point of this is that everything's like very organic and it's not planned and all that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I do have my mastermind sweatshirt on though, so that's cool.
That's good. Joel, we're not friends. We should be. I've just added you guys to the Facebook group for the mastermind a second.
Okay, thank you.
So, good stuff. I'm going to drop this in the Alaska chat as well. Hang on. There we go. Cool. So we have a few people who are posting on here, but we need them to basically say who the hell they are because we can't see without them approving Facebook to be able to see who they are. So I will get that link out there for you. Grant Facebook access. There we go. So please hit this link.
You're proving to be very techie, Tristan. Nicely done.
Came from that background.
Uh-huh.
There we go. I'll just bomb this in here as well. Where is it?
Rafa, have you been finding many deals?
Yeah, thankfully, I'm staying pretty busy.
Good.
Yeah, so God's been good to me for sure.
That's awesome. Glad to hear it.
Yeah, I'm excited to do this Novation. That's exciting.
Yeah, that's great. Tristan was just telling me about it. And then I was telling Joel about what a Novation was. So
yeah, this is my second time trying to do a Novation, so I'm kind of excited to finally go through the whole process.
That's great. Very cool.
What about you guys? How's business for you?
I've mostly been connecting with sub 2 students. Today, one friend who I met back in, I think, December, Gabby. And I think she was in Greece when I met her, and now she's in Florida. And then another student who's brand new. So he and I were connecting and talking about Airbnbs, which is kind of my goal right now. I would love to get one in Phoenix. So that's one of my main reasons I'm on this, to find out, what are the possibilities. And then I'm going to be doing we're going to be doing some lending. So that's kind of our next thing this week is to vet people and get out some contracts.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
was actually watching a Ace's Zoom regarding lending. It was my birthday weekend, so I didn't watch it, but I need to build my my private money contacts. So I'll reach out to you later on.
Definitely. That's awesome. Did you say birthday?
Yeah, it was my birthday like 2 weeks ago on March 21st.
Awesome.
So, yeah, and then he did that Zoom on the 20th. So it was like 2 weeks ago. It was the week right before the mastermind.
That's awesome. Well, that's my oldest daughter's birthday is March 21st. She
what
turned
year?
22. Yeah.
What year was she born?
2000.
Oh, okay. I was born in 90, so 10 years.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Yeah, those are easy birthdays.
Yeah.
Those 10s.
So, right, let's get started. We've got 10 people watching who are probably bored. There's 10 in the Creative JV group, which is awesome.
Okay.
Ingrid's on, and I don't know who else, but please, everyone that's on, hit the link under the Bob Ross image and hit streamyard.com/Facebook. That will identify you as you're using Facebook to be able to know, so that we can see who you are. Ingrid's identified herself, but there's lots of people called Facebook user, and I don't believe all of them are Ingrid. So welcome, everyone. We wanted to jump on just very spontaneously. Raf, we're all actually mastermind students on here. Raf did the mastermind recently, as did Nina. I did one, the first one some time ago now. And Raf and I have been trying to do a deal for quite some time now. We had a near miss just before Christmas, which could possibly be a deal again one day. Who knows? But we'll see how that goes. Follow-up's key. But the one that we're going to talk about tonight is, hey, Lucky, hit the bloody link, Lucky. Don't be lucky. Hit the link so we really know that you're lucky, bro. So if we just want to roll in and get a bit of background on how we came across the deal, how Raf came across the deal more accurately, and how we got talking last week. We locked it up on Tuesday. And then, now we're in a position just getting the final paperwork done, and we'll be getting the contractor to walk around this week just to take a look and look at numbers. Lucky, hit this link here. It's on the screen, dude. If you look, it shows, I've just highlighted it on the screen. In fact, I'm going to text it to you because I want you to, I'm going to send it to your iPhone, Lucky. So get your iPhone out, not your Android. There you go. So that will give us permission to see who you are, Lucky. So let's get back to the genesis. So Raf, tell us a little bit about your background, what you've done before Sub 2, and now, a little intro to how we came across the deal. We'll do the same for Nina and Joel shortly, and we'll talk about how they and I met, and we'll catch up shortly. So give us the run-in, Raf.
Awesome. So my name is Rafa Escobedo, and I did primarily traditional real estate. So I pretty much help people just buy and sell, as a realtor. And I have been slowly buying rental properties just throughout the years, and I've always put 20% down, which isn't ideal. So that's what kind of brought me to Sub 2, and yeah, so I started doing wholesale in like September of last year. I joined Sub 2 in October, so a month later, and just the knowledge and everything, it's just been really beneficial. It's really expanded my mindset, and it's helped me in a lot of ways, even outside of real estate. But yeah, so that's kind of a little bit about me. So I work here in Phoenix, Arizona. I do virtual wholesale in Atlanta, in North Carolina, and Tennessee as well. But that's kind of a little bit about me. So how I came across this deal is actually, so the seller, he was referred to me by his cousin. So before I got into real estate, I was a branch manager at Wells Fargo, and his cousin was one of my employees. He was one of my tellers. And his mom passed away, unfortunately, and he just introduced me to him. I just kind of just build rapport, and we originally we're gonna try to list it, and we did list it on the MLS, but it just wouldn't sell just because it was really cluttered, and there was it just wouldn't sell. It just didn't present well, and we lowered the price, and then it just wasn't selling. And that's when we kind of came up with the idea just to kind of go the Novation route and try to net him what he wanted. And it just seems like the most beneficial route for him and for everybody. We could turn around and make sure we put what he wants in his pocket. So really what's been the biggest factor is just building rapport. I know Tristan was there, is honestly just being there for my client. And I think the root is that he knows that we actually care, and we want to do the best, to help him out and be a blessing to him. And that's going to make the whole transaction very smooth and easy. I'm sure you could attest to that, Tristan.
Absolutely. And Raf's got one of the biggest hearts in the game. I mean, I can definitely attest to that. The way he takes care of and speaks to sellers and really looks for the win for the seller before himself, and he's put everyone ahead of himself. So going through this meeting the seller, don't need to mention names, I don't think, but super nice guy. The guy's in his mid-20s, lost his mum, as Raf said, and he's just lost. He's in a lost place. He doesn't really have any close family. I think there's a sibling, but they're not terribly close from what I understand. And the guy just wants to honor the gift that his mum gave him, which I think in this case is not a mortgage, but it's realizing what he can gain in realizing capital from the transaction, and just set himself up for his future. It is really his gift from his mum, as far as I can tell. And it just made complete sense when we had the conversation with him that a cash deal wasn't going to net him as much. And he has the luxury of the flexibility of not necessarily needing the money immediately, so we can put more in his pocket, effectively make him the lender. And we've got little or no holding costs in the short term, and we just need to come in, do a renovation, and come and take a look at the place. Did we have any listing pictures that we can share, Raf?
Yes,
we can do a little walkthrough. I know I didn't take pictures when we were there because you had already had it listed. So, I wanted to really make sure that, we could sort of give a little walk around both to Nina and Joel and also the audience as well. Nina, you're not part of my free group.
I don't think so yet. I need to be, though.
Do you want me to send you the link for the listing?
Yeah, can you send me the link for the listing with the pictures that we can look through? And then I'll share my screen with if anybody's not a member of the Creative JV group, they should be. It's a Facebook group where you can get together with people from no memberships, lots of memberships, people that are in TTP, disruptors, Astra Flippers, all sorts, Cody Spurbers people, and the whole world is in there. So it's a good place to be. How you doing, Syed? Syed's a killer in town. And my one of my team members in the Philippines, he's not working today, but he's on. It's Monday for them already. He's just chilling. So hey, Mike, how you doing, dude? So, and if anybody needs VA services, Mike will post up a link, and you can get in touch with him if you need VAs. He will very much be happy to help you guys with that. So let me just see. Thanks, Raf. I'll bring that up and I'll share my screen. So
just keep in mind, everybody, that whenever we list a property, I have a professional photographer, so the pictures always look a little bit better. So so because if you look at the pictures, you would say, oh, like, why would this not sell? But in person, it's just kind of a different story. Just kind of throwing that out there.
Are you saying smoke and mirrors, Rafa? Is that what it is?
Yes. Usually the MLS, most of the homes is they look beautiful, and then you get there, you're like, what is this? This is not what they advertise.
Can you guys see my screen okay, or is it not showing up yet?
We don't see it.
Not yet.
All right, so let me.
And then also, like Tristan is figuring that out. Is one of the concerns with the seller is he was just overwhelmed with the process and having to move everything out of the property. So going this route instead of selling it traditionally is it enables us to help him a little bit more. So so he was really like, his heart was very heavy because he had to get rid of all of his all of his belongings, his mother's belongings. So it's very hard for him. And just us, we just told him, hey, just go through the house, put a sticky note on everything that you want, and we'll take that to a storage unit for you. And then the rest of the items we'll just donate them, or figure just kind of figure good use of them. And he was really, when we told him that it was like just 100 pounds just came off your shoulders. So going this route, it's kind of allows us to step in and just be a blessing to him and help him a little bit more. So there's just it's so it just kind of enables us to help him. So just kind of want to throw that out there.
That's wonderful. Yeah, glad we can do that.
So I am struggling to share the thing. So I'm going to drop the link into the chat so that people can take a look. I don't know if you can share your screen. I did an update on Chrome, so unfortunately it's not letting me share my screen because I need to do a security update, which will cause me to drop out of the studio. So that'll end the broadcast. But are you able to share your screen, Raf?
Yeah, let me try that.
That way you guys can bring this up and take a look. Can you see that there, Nina?
No, we just see the address there, the web address.
All right, I think I should be able to do this.
I'm texting it through to you, Nina. You're on an Apple Mac, aren't you?
We are.
So you got your messages in the operating system.
Sorry, you just brought up a sore subject.
Too many messages.
No,
We're finding them.
Where's your phone?
Do you have it? Oh, it's right here.
Just airdrop it to yourself.
Okay.
I'll email it to you, Nina.
Oh, I got it. Nope, I got it.
Oh, great. Okay.
I was just laughing because this afternoon I was trying to get, for some reason, her messages aren't coming through on her Mac, and it's driving me crazy because I can't figure out why some of them come through and some don't. But you need to share that with me.
I'll tell you why.
You want to do that?
I'll show you afterwards, John.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
So, yeah, if you guys go to that link, we can take a look at the listing. So it's kind of, would you say it was a patio home, Raf? It's kind of almost that kind of design, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a traditional house. It just has a very, very small yard.
Right.
Okay.
So
if you drive through the neighborhood, it looks like a normal neighborhood. It's just the backyards are very small.
Okay.
Yeah. So as you can see, it's not, the floors are reasonable. They're dated, but they're reasonable. The fireplace is that kind of dated marble look, and nothing's terrible in here. And
No.
We're going to make some changes to modernize, and we can basically look at the comps and that kind of thing as well. We've got the original builder grade cabinets in the kitchen. My preference is not to have tile countertops, but that's what's in it.
Yep.
So it wasn't sort of a higher end finish. Obviously, the kitchen is very dated, original kitchen, but it's functional. So as I'm walking around, I'm looking at ceiling lamps. Those are going to go. We're going to replace those with sort of those little kind of recessed pancake LED type lights.
Yep.
Obviously, new countertops. I would imagine probably new cabinets, but let's have a look at the comps in a minute and see what the comps have. Obviously, the furniture is not going to be there. We got to remove that from our vision. A lot of newbies just sort of see the furniture there, and that kind of taints their view of what the future could be for a property. Original builder grade sinks, original everything builder grade stuff, from no upgrades it seems. Gold frame aluminum shower, Roman tub, double vanity sink, again, the cabinets of the age, and pretty sparse. There's some texturing on some of the walls in the back room, which I think may have been enclosed at some point. I don't know, Raf, what your opinion is on that, whether that was enclosed after the fact or whether that was just something that they did. I think it's picture, I can't tell which picture number it is. It's the one with the French doors out to the backyard with the keyboard. It's like an additional room outside the second master. It looks probably, it's either original or was done when they did the floor, because obviously the floor is consistent through the whole house. That kind of laminate floor type finish. It's got the little 3 lights, vanity lights above the bathroom mirror. But very basic stuff. And feel free to make comments and stuff, Nina, as you see things as we go through. I know you're not looking at my screen, but I'm in the backyard right now.
Well, I was noticing the nice high ceilings.
That was definitely a big plus. Yeah, yes. I actually love the high ceilings. Just gives that kind of feel of openness.
Yep.
So we looked at so 3.2, 1,200 square foot, was it, Ref?
I'm looking at 1878, so just under 1,900 square feet.
Yeah. Nice little section of Scottsdale. I'm just looking at, for those that Phoenix, there's the State Route 51 that goes north, kind of through from the east side of the city, up through east side of the downtown, really, through Paestua, the Phoenix Mountain Range, up to Scottsdale. Very basic stuff. State Route 51 that goes north. I can hear myself in another window.
That's weird.
Is that one of you guys playing it? Maybe that's me.
I think I was trying to respond to some of the comments and it played it.
Oh, okay. No worries. I got spooked. I thought, who's that? He sounds like me.
Yeah, that was weird.
Can't have 2 people like that. As we go north through Phoenix, it goes up to this really nice area. There is a homeowners association. I haven't looked at the CCNRs to see if Airbnbs are allowed there, but I think what we ideally look for when we flip properties is an opportunity to burr a property so we can refinance out the investment. But with interest rates rising, we're buying too high for that on this property. It's in too good a condition for us to be able to have that exit. That's something that definitely, Raf would like to do. If that's going to be possible, he'll definitely be buying it if that's the case. But if not, we'll obviously be exiting to a retail client. Great schools in this area. I think the neighborhood is late 80s, early 90s type area. This one was built in 89. So it's definitely in the older neighborhoods of the modern kind of stick-built homes, but definitely a well-established community. And if there was going to be any movement in foundations or the building, we would have seen that by now. And there was no obvious, cracks or anything like that on walls, stucco, or in the floor. So I think it's a really great build. I think when I was there, I didn't look around at air conditioning, that kind of stuff. We were there just to talk to the seller and, see if the Novation was going to be a fit, and it turned out to be. But what was air conditioning like, Raf? Obviously, that's a consideration for renovation. Was that fairly recent or was that original?
I'm guessing it's original. Or no, you know what, Tristan? No, it isn't. You remember he said he put it on a credit card like 2 years ago?
That's right. I remember, yeah. So he's paying that off for a couple of years. That's right. Yep, you're right.
The new AC.
Yeah, so new AC. So that's going to keep our numbers down by 8 to 10,000, depending on what kind of system we might have had to go with. So the roof is in good condition. It's hard to tell what the underside of the roof is. If it hasn't been replaced and there's no leaks, there's no point in pulling that back to take a look. It's probably going to disturb something and cause a problem at that stage. So I'm not planning on doing roof work, at least at this stage. We'll have our contractor go over and take a look this week, as I mentioned. But I think we're looking at floors, upgrading those so we can make them look a bit more modern. Raf, do you mind if I send that link out of the comps that you sent to me?
No, go ahead.
I'm going to throw that out there so that people can take a look.
What's the year of the house, Tristan?
1989.
Okay, thank you. Just taking notes.
I'm just going to email this through to you guys a second. I'll post that in the chat. There we got that one there. I'll dump that in here. So there haven't been any sales in the last 3 months, which, it is not necessarily a red flag, but just, a fact that there haven't been. I'm looking at one of the 2 comps now. This is one under contract, hasn't closed, obviously, so that's not truly a comp at this point, but I think it's a good indicator. Raf was going to try and get hold of the listing agent to see if he could sniff out any more information on that one. This is another property which is an exact model match, 1879 square feet, 1989 build. I think the lot size is within a few square feet. This 4724, this one's 4496 is the comp. So a little bit difference, but not really anything that's going to make a big difference on the price. Did you find any information out about that, Raf?
Yeah. So I spoke to both of them, and if you look at the dates on the MLS, they both sold within a week. One sold in 3 days, which is fairly normal in this market.
Yeah.
But there's the one on 50th Street. That one looks like it was listed for $749, and it's literally the exact same layout. It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of activity, and that one in like 7 days it was switched to pending, so it sold pretty quick.
Yeah. So what I was going to kind of notate on this one is that being the exact model match, it's a very much more light and airy look. It's a more of a white interior paint job. They got plantation blinds, which is obviously different from the other property. It's got those recessed LED lights that I was mentioning. The kitchen, I don't know if you can get onto the kitchen, Nina, but it's got those Euro style cabinets. I'm not sure if these are IKEA. My eye isn't good enough to pick out exact manufacturers quite yet, but it's possible. I have a feeling it might be IKEA because it's got the glass front on the tops, but it doesn't mean to say they are IKEA. I'm not dissing the quality of the cabinets, but they're a very stylish, very flat fronted, where the shakers have the squared frame.
Right.
The Euro style has a very front, smooth front, or very flat front with the little hardware at the top or the bottom of the doors. Got a nice little wine fridge in there, and that's actually a little wet bar that I was looking at there in the lounge. Okay. And then if we go through the kitchen, it's either a very well staged flip or it's just a really nice, kind of nicely done thing. I would imagine. I really like the kitchen table, the dining room table. It's got like an Asian, maybe Chinese, Japanese style on the chairs. I'm not obviously looking to buy tables and chairs, but I just picked that out because I had a probate house that I sold and flipped before Christmas that had a similar design. But going through the kitchen, quartz countertops, same kitchen cabinet designs, built-in oven, nice LED illuminating hood, flat top range, and it's just a really, really clean looking kitchen. The floor tiles are really nice with the wide angle lenses. It's hard to tell that I think they are a thinner, longer type of tile, but I love the kind of kitchen sink where you got the stainless steel, slightly protruding sink. I've seen a lot of copper sinks like that in past years, in the last 10, 15 years. I think this is a really very modern look. I like the backsplash, which is the vertical, not quite penny tile, but the very, it's the mesh backed, little glass tile type effect there. And just a nice open airy look. I think that this is definitely an example of what we might want to aim for, at least in the essence.
Okay.
And there's obviously a lot of books. I'm glad to see. Oh, there's Brad Meltzer. I thought it was David Meltzer for a second. Quite a Robert Ludlum. He's got quite a look for those. This is the other reason I think this might be an IKEA kitchen and cabinets, because of the bathroom. We got the floating vanity, which is I did that at my old house when I renovated that. I did this floating there. I did put the legs on because I had teenagers that might have leant on the top. I didn't want it falling down, so it wasn't technically floating in my last house. But you can see that it is a floating effect. They've got a long cabinet on the left with a mirror side. I'm not a fan of the gold touches, to be honest, but it's definitely a nice looking vanity and kitchen sink. Definitely opens the place up. And I'm not a fan of the sinks that go on top of the vanities, to be honest, but that's a personal choice. I love the shower. I love the big sexy shower. It's got a nice rain shower head. I can't see where the controls are. I think that they're probably behind the towel box, just underneath the shelf. I really like putting the controls of the shower directly inside or on the opposite side of where the shower is, because then you're not walking through the shower to get cold water if that's not what you want to do. I like to put the shower controls accessible. It's a little bit more costly putting them in a separate plumbing wall or moving the plumbing wall, but I think it makes a little bit difference, at least for me.
I agree.
So the fan is good. The office, not terribly big, but it's big enough. I like the modern hardware on the doors. Again, second shower, similar style, but I think maybe that control in the other shower is actually opposite, because they've done what I was just talking about in that second bathroom. Again, vanity top sink, not my cup of tea, but it is what it is. And it definitely a nice look. And the more I look at it, the more I think it's IKEA. So, IKEA means lower cost.
So Tristan, actually, if you look at picture number 39, it has that little room as well. And the description says third bedroom with patio access.
Interesting.
So it might be normal.
Could well be, yeah. It's just that texture that kind of was what I wasn't quite sure about. That texture on the back wall, but we can, yeah, that's
it's very
cool. Yeah, the backyards are similar size. Obviously, the lot was a similar size. I think each of them, depending on where they are in the community, are a slightly different formation. But
ours is exactly 228 square feet bigger.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much the same size.
Yeah. So, but yeah, just palm trees in the back, kind of pretty much desert landscape, cut a few trees here and there, a big saguaro in the back of this one. So, I think that's definitely a great comp should that close. Let's look at the other one that's pending as well, which is unfortunately a lot lower in price. This one's 15429 North 51st Street. So let me look at the configuration on that one. That wasn't quite a model match, I don't think, was it?
No.
1790.
But it's smaller in square feet.
Yeah. So, we're in the ballpark. It's a slightly different configuration, nice vaulted ceilings. I think the floors in here are, again, probably either original or a first remodel, probably 10 or probably 20 plus years ago, I'd imagine. It's funny how they put the different order on the pictures. Definitely there's a bit of that laminate floor coming up. They've tried to put an electric outlet inside the floor there somewhere. I don't know if that's a sign of water damage that's raised one of the things, or just, it's just come up over time. Original cabinets, probably different countertop, I would imagine, and subway tile behind. Still a nice open looking kitchen. That's got the archway, modernized shower, but original vanities. So there's a lot of distinct differences in how this renovation or lack of renovation has been done. Looks like the carpet has not been replaced, because I can see a deep mark where there's been a bed or a heavy object in the carpet. So we know that none of the flooring has been replaced in the property. Original, looks like iron tub or stainless steel tub, vanities, all that kind of stuff. And so what are your thoughts, guys? Give me some,
and this one on 51st, it flew off the market. It sold in 2 days. So it's probably a little bit undervalued.
So, from what I'm seeing, I think there's a lot of value in us doing the work, bringing it up to the standard of that first one that we looked at. Obviously, hopefully that will close in the next couple of weeks before we really get started and look at heavily at which way we're going to go on these things. But obviously time is money, so we don't want to hang around just in case it closes and it doesn't, but we've got to go off what we see. Raf's been doing this quite some time as a realtor. So Raf, what dates did they go under contract, just for the people watching, so we can get an idea of?
So the one that's a little bit smaller, on 51st Street, that was listed March 6th, and on March 9th it went pending. So that one should close any day now. The agent, she's not very communicative. She's related to the seller, so she might just do this part-time, and the listing fell on her lap, which I assume it's what happened, because she took pictures with her phone, which you're selling someone's $600,000 house. I would expect you to get a photographer. That's just me, though. All right. So, anyways, the one on 50th Street, that one just went pending. I spoke to her last week. So they listed it March 23rd, and it went under contract March 29th, which was last Tuesday.
Perfect.
Now, I spoke to her the first day it hit the market, and she said she had about like 15 or 16 showings. She has some verbals, but really we can't really count those. But she's like, I know we're gonna get at least 700. I think she lives in that neighborhood as well. But so I actually texted her. I'll let you guys know if she responds. But worst case, I'll just give her a call tomorrow and see where they landed, and see if it's a financing or a cash deal.
Okay.
Fabulous. So, so that's the tour of the properties. Should have mentioned it earlier. The reason Nina is on is I met Nina at the Free House Formula event with Cody Sperber back in October.
Yep.
And she wasn't able to bring Joel with her on that event, but we sat down and had a good chat a few times during the event, and she's telling me about a rental property that she's got up in Seattle, and she was looking at a couple of options, maybe selling it, I think was one of the options, wasn't it, Nina, at the time?
Well, and then we're doing a refi right now on it.
So that's where I was going to lead in, where, we had that conversation, and you also mentioned it at Pace, and we kind of gave her the same feedback to leverage the property so that you could actually keep the loan, keep the property, which is one best of both worlds. Yep. You get to have somebody else pay for the property again, because there was a relationship with the person in the house. I don't know if you want to share that, but don't need to. But that way you can still help this person that was renting the property from you. They can help you by paying down the refinance loan. Yep. And you can leverage the property at the interest rate you can get to go and purchase more property. Because I know you're talking about maybe getting property in a similar area. And we talked about the problem with the local jurisdictional laws with renters and problems of getting people out. And, that's, I think, when we kind of moved the conversation towards maybe the short-term rentals in that area where we wouldn't have such issues, or maybe looking at rental outside of state. but also the possibility of lending. And with Pace talking about lending at the event and talking to you specifically about lending as well.
Yep.
We're a few months down the road after being at that event and seeing so many Sub 2 students there. Nina decided she was going to join Sub 2. So I was so happy to find that out. And, the rest is history.
Yep. Just a few weeks later, I joined Sub 2, and I am super excited to start lending and finding my first properties here.
So, I've been talking to Nina a few times since she was down for the mastermind, looking at opportunities where we might be able to work together. And this is definitely one of the opportunities where I hope that, we can work together. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. But at the end of the day, we just wanted to share the conversation that how do we talk to a lender? Who is a lender? What's the process? And because it's a novation agreement, it's the first one Raf's doing. He wanted to kind of document this from start to finish. So I thought, well, why don't we just see if we can get a lender, not necessarily our lender. They may not decide to work with us on this one. Hopefully they will. But I wanted to share some value where we could walk through the process, talking to a lender, sharing what the project's about, and really documenting the process publicly so that everyone can learn from the process. And we'll try and do this every time there's a meaningful step forward in the process to update everyone, answer some questions, and really to make sure everyone stays abreast of it, and we get to talk about this, wherever we can. So, my proposition, and I haven't had the contract to walk the property yet, is to have him walk the property maybe Monday or Tuesday, tomorrow or Tuesday this week, have a look at what we think is going to need to be doing. He can get some pricing together on what he thinks materials and labor are going to cost. We'll get some ideas on what finishes, what surfaces we're going to buy, whether it's countertops, tile floors, all of the different things that we need to decide what we're going to do. And then we need to, propose an opportunity for a lender to work with us. So we wanted to bring Nina and Joel in at this stage and just sort of have a conversation, just show what our thoughts are in going through a process, assessing a flip that's coming up, and just go through that process together so that, I wouldn't necessarily show this process, not that I'm hiding it, but it's a little early in the process of lending, but why not just open it up to conversation and questions at this point? So we can look at how we're looking at, how would we renovate the property? We've looked at two different opportunities that are potential comps. Neither are closed. We hope one will close this week, which at least gives us a base level. The other one looks like it might close around a month after we got it under contract. If it's a cash buyer, obviously, hopefully that will close a lot quicker. But we need to get our ducks in a row, see what we want to spend, and figure out our exit is going to be somewhere in the region between wherever it is, 665, hopefully, and 750, hopefully on a much higher end. But it looks like it's quite an easy calculation that if you don't do the work, you're going to sell for 665, 660. If you do the work, you're going to get around 740, 750, hopefully 780 if we're lucky. So we can't bank on these being comps. As I said, they're not closed, but we just need to bear those in mind as we're going through the process. So, I'm probably looking at not a major rehab, but we're going to do kitchens, bathrooms, I would imagine, flooring, painting inside and out. We're going to need to talk to the HOA, probably put an architecture review in, which the one in Vegas was about $30. Hopefully it's not much more than that. Just to look at the color schemes that are available in the neighborhood. We just need to be able to paint it and make it look pretty, make sure it, pops. And, if there's a more modern color scheme that doesn't fall outside of what they're looking for in the community, I think that's going to be helpful, don't you, Raf?
Yeah.
Inside, obviously looking at the two comps that we looked at, the one that was brighter and lighter inside was obviously a much more attractive proposition to me as a potential buyer to look at this light, airy place.
For sure.
So, so what are your thoughts, Joel and Nina, so far of the property and the opportunity as it sort of presents so far? What are your thoughts? Have you lent before in real estate?
Nope.
No, we're just getting started.
Fantastic.
So, like a potentially a quicker way to, especially if it's shorter term, to start using some of the capital that we pulled out of the other place. And so interested in like, what are kind of some quick wins before we figure out what we can do longer term. But yeah, I think it's great to have those two comps are amazing, because it's like you said, it's almost like the before and after of this property. And
absolutely
makes it really clear. And I just had a question about, like, so the Novation route is it in this case so that we can also bring the seller in on as a kind of almost like a partner in the process, right? Rather than traditionally, like, okay, we get it under contract as is, and then we'd take all the risk and all the benefit from that. This is more like, let's include the seller in this opportunity as well. Is that part of it?
Not so much. I mean, I never pitch it as a partnership. Maybe it's a limiting belief that I have, that I don't want them to think that they're getting more than is a fair price for the property. It all comes down to the opportunity itself. We looked at the figures of what we had listed the property at, what Raf had listed the property at. His net after concessions with the condition of the property and costs and all the other things were going to leave him around this cost anyway, and possibly somewhat less than that. So we figured out if we could just give him that price, the fixed price, and then he would be locked into there, but he would be holding with the mortgage for the 3, 4, 5 months that it takes to do the renovations. That lowers our cost of hard money. If we went in with $600,000 of hard money plus whatever the renovations are, I'm just going to calculate that here a second. 600 times 0.1, just for shits and giggles, divided by 12 times, I don't know, let's just say 5 months, worst case scenario, that's 25 grand in holding costs. If we had given him a cash price of, I don't know, 550, that would have left him 575. We're going to be paying, if we pay the holding costs, we're paying $1,500 a month PITI off his late mum's mortgage, which is a lot more attractive than 5 grand a month or 4 grand a month in hard money. So it saves us a lot on there. And obviously then we're just looking at renovation costs. I'm thinking somewhere between probably 35 to 60, depends on what finishes we look to do and how we get it to, assimilate the finishes and looks of that other property, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So, that way we can be much more confident in putting liens on the property for any lending that's done and any profit that we're looking to get paid out at the close of the property. So, we've open title. They've got the documents with to make sure his personal representative in place now. Now they're going to do abstracts and all the other stuff, and then we can, inspection period's kind of started. He's probably moving out over the next few days, and then we'll be able to get a good idea and clear out all the stuff that we need to donate to charity. We're going to give Patrick Leggins a call, see if his charity wants to come and pick anything up. We're going to get a U-Haul and a couple of guys to come and help move the things like his mum's piano, so that we move them to storage or his aunt's house, and make sure that everything's in place for him to move forward with what he needs, and then we'll take care of everything else that can maybe donate it to charity.
Great. And it's so nice to see that the other house had sold so quickly. So the comps.
And one thing we didn't mention earlier on is one of the benefits of working with people like Raf and us is that, the guy didn't have a probate attorney. So Raf plugged him into a probate attorney. He's got in touch with the attorney, and they're going to get paid most of the stuff at the end. I think there was some paid up front, maybe there wasn't, but Raf has taken care of that. So it's a probate lead in some ways, but it may not have come from a probate source. As Raf explained, it was somebody that used to work with. But at the end of the day, these are the things that dealing with investors may be different than necessarily dealing with some realtors. And it's not all realtors. Some realtors, have the will and wish to offer these services to people, where other people may not be so willing to do that,
Right. Yep.
And just are you guys familiar, Nina, with Scottsdale or no? Or like Arizona, like Phoenix?
Just a little bit. I've just been there twice. Yeah.
Yeah, so just Scottsdale, it's a very desirable area here in Phoenix. So, when we were listed at 650, we had a lot of activity, but the buyers that want to live there, they're very niche and they can't see past the cosmetic things. And I could probably pull up some of the feedback from the agents, and that's exactly what it was. It's them just saying, "Hey, it just looks, it's just clutter, needs to be cleaned out." But we had a lot of activity at 650. So I have no doubt that when we run it the second time and it looks beautiful, it's gonna fly off the shelf for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. It's a beautiful home.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Awesome sauce. So let's see if anybody has any questions. I've not seen much chat activity. We got Facebook user here. Any questions from the audience? I think we've got 10 people streaming at the moment. I think probably not.
Mm-hmm. Adrian said.
Lucky. Are you there, bro? Lucky's always got questions. Syed, are you there, bro? This property is in Scottsdale. I don't know if you heard us answer the question, but just to make sure you had your question. And somebody, Syed, yep, we're looking for a lender on this one, Syed. So we were talking to Nina and Joel about potentially being lenders. We'd love to work with them, be their first lending success. And
it's pretty amazing because that's exactly what we talked about the whole weekend,
It was, yeah. The mastermind, yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. So I don't think there seems to be any questions out there. So I don't know who's asking how much for how long, but if you could click on that link that I gave you to identify yourself as the person that you really are, your name other than Facebook user, that would be super helpful.
Yep.
Where is this link? I'm going to pop it up again. I think this is it. If you can go to streamyard.com/Facebook and just hit that one and post the comment again, that would be wonderful. Or reach out to me privately. I would love to. I'd love to see you. Derek, can you see the link on the screen, bro? I'm not sure if you can see that there. Have a look at the link that I've highlighted. But yeah, Derek, I'd love to talk to you about that as well. That would be great. I've got 3 other flips that I'm working on. So I've got other lending opportunities I'd love to talk to people with. And there we go, Derek. It shows your name now, dude. See? Magic. So I will definitely talk to you and Raf as well. And I think with some of these flips that we're doing, it would be great to be able to. I've already talked to the Arizona guys. We've been trying to do a campaign with them. Ingrid's been helping, Joseph in Tucson, and Crystal, Love and Marlon. We want to do a flip in Phoenix where it's kind of funded, sourced, managed by, and transaction coordinated by the Arizona Sub 2 team, or at least people around the country. So we'd love to do more flips in town. Bring us deals. I can manage them. I can run them. One of us can list them for you, hopefully Raf or Ingrid or somebody, maybe Lucky. We want to be able to, maximize our value, share the experience, and whoever brings somebody to the table is obviously going to be on the equity on the deals. And there's no reason if somebody can bring it deep enough, we can take it down. We can start a little organization, an LLC, and we could potentially share the cash flow on it as well. And what I'd love to be able to do, if we could do something like that on the cash flow, is donate that cash flow or some of it to a charity so we can support something locally in Phoenix. I do have a charity I'm starting, so one of the things that I will be supporting myself, and it doesn't have to be that charity, is, I'll be looking for people to support that, to help teenagers get counseling and therapy to help them just through life, really. I mean, it's a challenging time.
It is.
Being born is a struggle. Then getting to teenage years is a struggle, and then transition to adulthood. It's a big challenge when we're being taught all of this stuff at school. Some of it's helpful, but a lot of it is unhelpful. We're not learning mindset. We're not learning how to handle money. I did a little live on it this morning. I think it would be great if we could support something like that. Maybe as a community, maybe there's someone else we can support as well. We just want to get people involved. So let's make some money together, and let's donate some money together as well. I think that'll be huge. So wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
If there's no other questions, let's wrap it up. We're just short of an hour. I appreciate you guys immensely. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of this. And obviously, we'll do part 2 probably in a week or so after we had the contract to walk the property, see if there's other property closes, see if we got a solid comp there, and we'll keep updates rolling in. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Joel. Thanks, Raf. Appreciate you very much.
Have a good evening, guys.
Take care. Okay, good night. Thanks, Tristan.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.